Okay, and they're telling you here in the hotkeys or hyperkeys how you change stuff to, like if you want it in quantity, it's just Shift Q. So these are all capitals. If you want to change it to money, it's Shift M, which is capital M, ordinal, Roman numeral. For lowercase numbers, it's just the I, Roman. Generic, phone, social security, zip code, time, and date. So what it's telling you right here, and this is an example, to convert 10250 into a zip code, you use the hyperkey M, mark it. So you're going to mark this whole thing. To mark the whole number, press Control number sign, which is Control Shift 3. That opens up the number conversion. You press Z for the zip code, does it.
Oh, I thought this was in hyperkeys.
Well, you can.
Oh, that's what, okay, on caps, but this bottom one is if it's not in hyperkeys.
Yeah.
No.
What's that?
8 number, okay. I'm trying to do, let's say we want to convert 10 to a Roman numeral. So I would mark it
Yeah.
and then press Control number symbol. So Control 3, and that gives me speaker data.
It's Control Shift. Is that what you're doing?
It doesn't say, it just says Control, it doesn't say Control Shift.
Well, to do the number.
No.
If not, then you're doing 3.
Oh my gosh.
And then just put it in the Roman numeral.
What? No. What happened? It all just came up as words.
These are how I write my numbers out, so I had to go through my dictionary, take out all my digits, and then redo it, and write it, define them as words, so that way it knows to just convert them to digits.
And that's what it's telling you right here. 4 of the most commonly used number conversions have been and are also available as hyperkeys. The other ones that we were talking about right here, guys, are through the hotkeys, which is through the number conversions. So you have to mark it, do Control Shift, number, then go in there, mark it, and press the letter, then it goes through. On the hyperkeys, and I apologize for that, I told you guys wrong. So really what it changes is money, numerals, time, and written out numbers.
Hold on. Scratch that. Jeez.
Well, no, because you're gonna need it for conversions.
But why
That's
would
what it is for
Yeah,
conversions.
but you have to mark it, control, blah, 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 such and such.
Yeah. Unless you know how to do it in your stroke, in the stroke that you do. Okay? So money, numerals, time, written out numbers. So M, N, T, and W. Auto magic numbers.
These are caps, right? Or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's cap. So it's shift. So it's Shift M, Shift N, Shift T, and Shift W.
Wait.
All right?
Let's see some of the choices that AutoMagic offers relating to numbers. As soon as I place my cursor on 3, AutoMagic offers me several number conversion choices, turning this to a...
And you see how it does that? They wrote it out. Okay? 3-car garage. Now, did you mean 3, $3, 3 o'clock, Roman numeral 3, or do you need to convert it to something else? Okay?
a digit, to a money number, to time, to a Roman numeral, and in case these are not enough, choice 5 opens the number conversion dialog, so I have all of my number conversion choices at my fingertips. In this case, no change is necessary. However, when I place my cursor on the word car, the number 1 choice is to turn this into the expression 3-car with a hyphen.
And that's the correct way of doing it. Okay? You remember how I told you guys to do it the other way? How would you do it?
You can mark both of those and then press the,
Oh.
Press the hyphen. Yes. Comes back.
In this case, 2:30 really meant time. I can place my cursor either on 2 or 30. Either way, AutoMagic will detect the full number and give me the appropriate.
And see how it does that? How it gives you, is it $230? $230? February 30th? Really? Or 230, which is number 4. So it's going to give you the different options. Okay?
Appropriate number conversion choices. In this example, pressing 4 would turn this to a time number, and there was no need to mark the full extent of the number before AutoMagic offered its choices. In this next example, 3rd refers to a date, and so the number 1 choice is to convert this.
But see how he wrote it?
Third.
It was on the 3rd, yes. But he didn't put it with a month. He just put 3rd. So it just put it as 3rd. But he needed it as 3rd. Okay? So it just gives you the option to be able to change it to whatever you need to. Okay? So even if you stroke it correctly,
But that's when you would use like your asterisk E for ordinals and then change
Yeah.
it to 3 or.
but if you going so fast, and they say, yeah, I mean, was that on the 3rd? Yeah. And you're behind and you're trying to catch up. Was that on the 3rd? And all you heard was 3rd. And you write THIRD, and it's like, oh man, that was 3RD. No big deal. Go back and change it. So it's just telling you, if you stroke it wrong, this is the way of changing it correctly.
To a digit with the ordinal suffix. And this yes that follows is the start of a paragraph. If I press 3, that will now make it easy for me to say, this is an answer. Most of the time, Eclipse Automatic Number Conversion formats numbers properly as you write, but sometimes context may be unclear. For those times where you need to change the format of a number, AutoMagic makes it possible to do so with a very minimum of steps.
like I just tried to do 2,327 and it did 2,300 and then 27 written out. And I tried to mark it and it tries to then say it's 2,300,027. Because if I use the number bar and I write something out, it does not convert.
You did what, 23?
I wanted to write 2,300 and then I just picked 27. Let's see, it didn't. And all my options here, even if you mark.
Now do Control Shift.
Yeah. 3, yeah, I tried that, and any way you do it, it still gives you this extra, not recognizing that 27 is supposed to be in the place of these 2 zeros here.
Then something is wrong. Your 2300 should be.
Yeah, so.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't come out that way.
Yeah. Cause I don't know what's wrong.
2,327.
7. It does this all the time, and I don't know.
Maybe because you're doing the 27 like that, then it's throwing it off. It needs to be in numbers.
What if it was 63, something that you couldn't do? I'm trying, like, no. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be 63. This is the same thing, the
Just try
problem she
it. Try
has.
2,300 and do 4-3 with the number.
Actually, I press hundreds, sorry.
Here.
Oh, alright.
You have to keep it with the numbers.
I don't always, the problem is I don't always do that.
You may need to call.
Because I feel like 20, 30, 40, I visualize as a word, not as, I know it's a digit, but I always write 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 as a word.
It's just something in your user settings. And it may be ignore written words.
We were clicked off that. So I also just call it clips because that's.
You may need to click it then.
We tried it with and without, it does it both ways. I tried it.
It still won't do it?
Not if it's a, that's the, if it's a number bar and a written word. It does. Mine does it all the time.
But you're writing it out, half of it in number and half of it written.
Because for some reason, when I hear the word like 20, 30, 40, 50, I write out like 50, 40. For some reason, that's how I write it. The last two, like 43, 40, 50. Especially if it's a, you have to come back. At 23, you can hit. If it's like a 62, you have to come after 6. I don't know if this thing, I've ingrained it in my brain now, to write 30, 40, 50, 60 as words, and I force myself to try and hit the number bar all the time. Because that's not real time. That's never gonna be real time passing. I know what it is when I finish a test. I go back and change it, but. I'll call Clips tomorrow to see what they say. That's the same thing Jacqueline has the same, hers come out the same way, and I think it's because we write part of it out.
You actually write part of that and then you go back and finish it off with the number part. Don't you find that difficult?
Hotkeys, pop-ups, and fonts are a few AutoMagic display options that are found in the View Toggles dialog. Let's dialog. Let's see. At the right edge of the info bar, AutoMagic can show the speed keys or hyperkeys that are available as keyboard shortcuts. This can help new users to learn the keyboard shortcuts for editing efficiency, but more experienced users may want to hide them. This can be done by going to the View Toggles dialog and unchecking the box that appears next to Hotkeys. Your AutoMagic choices can also be displayed in a small pop-up window that can appear in the info bar entirely and still see your auto menu of your AutoMagic choices. Don't forget that you can adjust the font that's used to display.
That really doesn't have anything to do with numbers. That's just more of the display. And it's just kind of telling you, you know, kind of what on the hyper keys right here. So if you have 1026, you want to change it. But, I mean, it's going to be in your auto magic keys anyway. And you can go through there and kind of mess with the exercise if you want to. And it gives you the answers. Guys, I know this is frustrating. I know the numbers is frustrating, but don't get all worked up about it, okay? There's a way to fix it, and we'll fix it, okay? And if you call support and ask them, I just never, you know, I keep my numbers consistent, so I don't know exactly what they were saying, and I don't even know if they even said it here. Did they?
No, I don't know if it's just a bad habit that I picked up.
Yeah.
That I didn't, if I got behind or something, I wrote.
Yeah. And, you know, there has to be a way to fix it. I'm sure that there is a way to fix it, so.
Or I need to, over winter break, reteach myself to write just the number bar or just words.
Yeah, yeah. So, do y'all have any questions? It's overwhelming, guys, a little bit, but numbers is probably the most important,
It's
but it is the
important,
hardest
but
too.
it messes up. I feel like
Yeah.
half the time it's not what I wanted it to do.
Because, you know, it's either something in your dictionary or it's something in the user settings. And it's something simple. It's usually something simple, so, you know, don't get too worked up about it. You know, usually all you have to do is just call support and they'll help you.
They've even taken over my computer a few times and done stuff.
Yeah. And they're really cool about it, you know, most of the time. Okay? Any questions? All right, we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Because Monday is, we switched
Yeah.
to Wednesday to